Welcome to Yoga with Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Bialik, and both the host and the producer for this program. Every week, I come into your home with a new yoga show. Sometimes it's yoga to prevent back pain, sometimes yoga for the athlete. We've had special shows for all different markets, but today's program can be for anyone. If you've never experienced yoga and you want to give today's show a try, I think you'd be okay if you have a ball and you want to use it. You can always stop when a particular pose causes you some difficulty or you feel uncomfortable in it. If you want to just watch today's show for its content and then seek the advice of your healthcare professional, that's an option for you. If you've been practicing yoga for a while, if you've noticed that you're reaching a plateau, if you know that your back poses a problem and you can't do backward bends, sometimes using a prop can help you stretch out more deeply and put less tension on the joints and the soft tissue. So today, I'm going to show you some ways to, first of all, warm up the body, condition the body on the ball, and get into some of the yoga poses a little differently. We'll be using different muscles. We'll be targeting muscles, sometimes even a little bit more intensely in these positions than we would in a regular traditional yoga pose. So if you have a ball, come and join me now, and we're going to start warming up with the ball, preparing for our yoga poses. So we're going to first warm up the low back and the hip area by doing some pelvic tilts. So we're going to first push forward through the pubic bone, tucking the tailbone. You're going to put your hands on your thighs with your fingertips pointing towards your knees, and then you're going to scoot back and drop the pubic bone down on the ball as you scoot the tailbone out from underneath you. So let's go ahead, rocking back and forward. So the pelvis moves into a posterior tilt and then an anterior tilt. Continue rocking back and forth on the ball. And then we're going to move the ball in a circle. And as we do this, you're going to notice that you feel a little stretch on the outside of your hip. You're lifting the rib cage on both sides. You're going to feel the ribs separating, feeling a little stretch through the lats and through the ribs, stretching those intercostal muscles. Now, we're going to bring the arms up in the air here, stretch them up long, interlace your fingers, and we're going to walk that left foot to the middle of the mat and walk the right heel to the outside of the mat. Now try to straighten that right leg, and we're going to twist to the right side of the room. Then we're going to bring those arms up, stretch up tall, and one more time, twist to the right side of the room. And then we're going to switch, take both arms in the air, take your left leg out, and we're going to twist to the left side of the room, stretching the arms all the way out, then bring them up, traction the spine. Breathe deep, exhale, and go ahead and twist. Let's bring that left foot back in, bring the right leg out, and this time we're going to slide that left arm down the ball. And if you're not sure if you're on the mat all the way, make sure that your right foot is anchored on the mat. You're going to slide down the edge of the ball so you can get a greater stretch for the lats. As you feel comfortable, you can open that hip a little bit more, walking your left foot out and reaching down on the mat. So we have a supported extended angle pose, stretching that right arm out, then look up underneath it, lifting the chest up high. Then come back up, bring the arms straight out from the shoulders, lift that chest up, and then bring those hands behind you and just lift the rib cage in the air. And we're going to try the same thing on the other side. Scoot the ball underneath your right hip, straighten your left leg. Take your right arm down the outside of the ball. As you start to reach up with your left arm, just start to reach along the outside of the ball. And when you feel you're at the point in which you can't go any farther, stay there. Some of you may stay on the ball. Some of you may be able to bring that hand over and look underneath your left shoulder. So come to the place that you feel comfortable. But this is giving you a lot more support. Take advantage of that support so you can roll back into the left shoulder, keeping the arms long and strong. Then come back up, lift the chest, bring those arms up in the air. Exhale down, bring those hands behind you, lift the chest and look up. And now let's position the ball in the middle of our hips and just rock back and forth. Stretching through the groin, straightening one leg and then the other, back and forth. And then we're going to turn the toes so they're pointing inward. And we're going to bring that chest down towards the mat. But before we do, let's bring the arms behind you and stretch the chest forward. When you come down, you're bringing your belly right into the ball, and you're bringing your arms up and over the shoulders. Now, why has this advantages over your regular forward fold? Because you don't put the same pressure in the hips. Your weight is lifted off your hips by the ball. So now you can focus more on your shoulder girdle. So bring the arms up in the air, let the head fall forward, stretching out the front of the shoulders. Deep breaths in and out through the nose here. Letting the head come down, letting the arms reach back as far as they will. And then come back up, and we're going to walk the hands over to the left, turning the left foot out to the side into a modified triangle pose. So we're going to bring that left hand now on the outside of your left foot, and we're going to open the chest and look up into your right hand. Straighten the legs as much as you can. Open the rib cage high. Then bring that right arm over your shoulder in variation 2. Keep looking up onto your right shoulder. Keep your arm long and strong. Then we're going to fold down into that left leg. Turn your right foot around in pyramid's pose, dropping the head and chest right into your left knee. Stay there and continue those slow breaths. Now walk those hands back to the middle of the mat. And once again, turn your toes to the center of your mat. Come up tall, traction the spine. Then bring the arms behind you again. Start to drop the rib cage forward. Bring the head down and the arms up and over the shoulders. Stay here and breathe. Squeezing the shoulder blades as tightly together as you can. Slowly pull them further forward, away from your ball, pulling the arms up and over. Deepen your breaths as you pull forward, bringing those arms down and the head down. Keep your breaths flowing, stretching those shoulders. Return to the ball, bring your hands down, and walk your right foot over to the right side of your mat. Position your hands right on the outside of your foot. Lift your left hip and look up into your left hand in Uttiti Trikonasana. Pull back into your left shoulder and then bring the left arm over your shoulder in variation 2. Stretching the arm long, lifting your chest up high. And bring the arm back up in the air. Hold on to that. Continue your breath as you stretch upward. Now, on the exhale, come into pyramid's pose. Turn your left foot around and bring your head down into your right knee. Stretching the back out as much as you can. Stay there. 2 more slow breaths as you hold. And let's come back to the center of the mat. Now, if you're feeling any tension at all in the body, what's nice is you can bounce on the ball and increase circulation in the entire body. Keep your hands resting on your thighs and just bounce up and down. We can also practice balancing on the ball, taking your feet off the floor. If you're on your carpet and you feel comfortable where you are, if you want to give that a try, it's always fun. You're just going to pull back into the ball And hold on to the ball and just start to lift your feet up in the air. So you can balance there on the ball and just move your hips side to side to compensate. And just give it a little try. It's a fun diversion from your traditional yoga poses, and at the same time, you're having to work the core a little differently, and you're also trying to focus. If you can, take your arms out to the side. Take your time with it. Or up in the air. All right, let's come back, and we're going to go ahead and turn so that we're facing the left side of your yoga mat. And we're going to slide our hips down and go into some extension. So we're going to take the hips down and put your low back against the ball. And as you fall back into the ball, your head drops down. You're going to expose the chest to the ceiling. Stretch the inside of the shoulders. Open your hands. Let the fingers reach down to the floor. And then slowly start to pull back over the ball. Let's bring the arms back. Lift your chest. Walk your feet into the ball. And slowly let your arms come back to the other end of your mat. Come forward. And make sure that you have enough mat to hold on to. If at all possible, you want to keep your heels on the mat and bring the arms down on the mat at the same time. So take your time getting down into the mat, walking your heels back, pulling the elbows in. Some of you that have a hard time with backward bending, this is a way that you can achieve a backward bend without putting the pressure in your shoulders or in your wrists, because you're not having to pull against the force of gravity. The gravity is actually working with you here, and the ball's suspending your body weight. So let's try to lift that left leg. If you're with me at home here, let's take the left leg up in the air, push it up, and take it down. Let's try the right leg. Take it in, push it up, hold it there. And take it down. Now you can also try balancing on the ball, taking both legs up. And both legs in the air here. And if you're really feeling strong, you can bring those knees in and fall over the ball. So challenge yourself. Let's go ahead and put the belly on the ball now. And we're going to come back to the left side of the ball, left side of your mat. And let's just move along the mat, sliding the ball under your belly and under your thighs. And we're going to start to really feel the focus of our core taking over. So we're going to slide that ball underneath your thighs, come to the left side of your mat, and then scoot the legs on top of the ball. So we're in a modified child's pose here. We're going to stretch those hips back to the heels, bring the head into your knees. So child's pose on the ball. Stay there and just breathe. Hold on to that. Now come forward, walk the hands to the very front edge of your mat, and you're going to push down on the top of the ball and suspend your thighs. So we're in a plank pose. Hover and plank, and then we're going to push down the top of your feet and try to lift your hips in the air. Now, if you can put your toes on the top of the ball and lift your hips a little higher, focusing on the core and the strength of your back and the shoulders. Now, you can bring one foot down and then the other. And we're back to where we started. All right. Once again, we're going to do that backward bend over the ball. Let's bring those hips forward. And as you feel the body loosening up, see how you feel coming back. And we're going to try to use the core a little bit more. So this time, we're not going to touch the floor. We're just going to stretch the abs as much as we can. And then slowly lift your shoulders and come up, reaching out over your knees. So imagine holding onto a ball in the middle of your hands, keeping those hands parallel with each other and at the same distance away from the floor, parallel to the floor. Slowly come back over the ball. Take a deep breath as you do. Reach back as far as you can. Don't touch the floor. Then push into the ball. Lift the shoulders. Come on up. Use the strength of your core. Do it again. Slowly come back. Deep breath. Exhale, pull back up. And 2 more times like that. Deep breath in and reach back. Exhale and pull up. Now, last time. Deep breath in, reach all the way back. Exhale, pull up. Hold there. Keep the tension in the core. Hold on to that. Now we're going to do another backward bend over the ball. So slide your hips forward. Lift your chest up. Roll back over the ball. Reach for the floor. Stretch all the way back. Hang on to that. If you can, walk your hands a little closer into the ball. Walk your feet in closer to the ball. You can straighten those arms, get a better stretch for the wrists and shoulders, or ease back into the hips. Once again, try to lift that left leg in the air. Flex your foot, hold it there. Take it down, push up with your right heel. And down. Once again, both legs coming up. If you can, both legs in the air. And if you feel comfortable, once again, coming back over the ball. Slide your belly on the ball. Take your belly forward on the ball, and this time bring your elbows down. Let your head drop to the ground and just stretch out your back and shoulders. Now this time, we're going to work on strengthening the lumbar spine and the glute maximus. So we're going to bring the ball all the way over to the right side of the mat. We're going to bring those elbows down, and we're going to push against the ball, lifting those heels up, using the strength of your glutes. Pushing that ball into your chest if you have a little bit more strength in the glutes. Lifting those legs up, pushing forward into your forearms. So this is a modification for scorpion pose. Lifting those legs up as high as you can, creating extension in the back. Then come forward and stretch out that back. Let your head drop. Stretch the back of the neck and the shoulders. Deep breaths in and out through the nose here. Then come forward. Once again, we're going to use the strength of those glutes, the strength of your back. Start to push that pubic bone down and then lift upward. Pull forward, holding there. Deepen your breaths. And come back down. Stretch out the back and the shoulders. And once again, walk your hands forward. Bring your knees up on the ball. And if you can, go ahead and bring both hands up on the ball. Another balance challenge. Falling back over the ball if you can as you come up. And then we're going to switch gears here. And you're going to go ahead and cross your right leg over your left. So now we're going to focus on a modified half lotus pose. So our right leg comes up, and we're going to hold that right heel right to the hip. We're going to bring both arms up in the air and stretch long. Stay here and breathe. Hold on. And then if you can, we're going to fold to the floor. Just drop that shoulder girdle down into your left leg. Then straighten the left leg and continue folding forward. Then bend your left knee. And we're going to bring both arms up in the air and twist to the right side. See if you can grab a hold of that right foot. Stretch up with your left hand. And let's try the other side. Let's bring that left foot up to that right hip and give it a good stretch. Now, both sides of the body may not be as limber, so go slowly. You've got the ball to contend with. The ball is going to continue to move, as you witnessed before, as I try to balance on my knees. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. So let's bring those arms in the air. Take a deep breath in, start to fall forward. And if you can, straighten that right leg. Come back up, bring the arms in the air, reach up as high as you can, and we're going to try to reach back, left arm to the right foot, and right arm in the air. And then release. And if you really want to try your hand, you can try a half lotus on the ball. And I'm not going to do that today because this ball has a little less air in it, so it's a little bit more challenging to balance on. So, but you can always try taking both feet up on the ball. I'll just demonstrate really quickly. But if you bring both feet up on the ball, you can try that as well. But again, you want a little bit more air in the ball to do that with. So we're going to come down and take a little break. I want to thank you very much for watching Yoga with Cynthia. I hope you enjoyed the ball workout today, but join me in a Savasana with the ball. It's great to put your feet up on. So watch me here, and until next time, namaste. Savasana with the ball. Just let your feet rest on top of the ball. Turn your palms so that they're facing up. Walk your shoulders back. And if you feel even more comfortable, you can cross your ankles. And move your legs slowly side to side to release any tension in the back. And you can just do a very slow rocking motion. And coordinate that rocking motion with your breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Almost like being on a boat that's rocking back and forth. And enjoy that. Till next time.